What's going on, people? How are we all doing? Great to have you back another week. And if you're new to the channel, nice to see you. I would love if everyone, if you're not already, if you can click the subscribe button. If you are already, if you can share it and get some more people following and more people commenting on the channel. Please do comment, even if it's just to say hi. I love engaging with people in the comments, so that's really nice as well. Yeah, it'd be great if you can support the channel and chuck some likes and subscribes and shares and whatnot. It really helps and massively boosts the page, which would be nice. This week coming up, we are gonna have a couple of weird, annoying jobs. You'll see why. It's just one of them weeks. It's much busier than it was, which is great. I'm really happy about that because yeah, it really dipped off for a good few weeks, but it is back with a vengeance because there's some crazy stuff coming. Well, not crazy stuff, but some stuff coming up. Some good, some bad. And we are also going to be discussing in this video service costs, which should hopefully be interesting or helpful to people that, well, a bit of information that's interesting or helpful to people that are self-employed or businesses and whatnot, and the whole race to the bottom conversation with competing on costs and whatnot. But yeah, go watch the rest of the video. There is a demand, but I'm not doing anything. It's not tricked. So we are here, there's nothing on heating or hot water. Okay, when I press that on, pump started running now. Let's turn that off again. Can you hear that motoring over? The pump running, which must be up. I put down somewhere. It's definitely running. It's a good sign. So I've got heat here, which is good. Let's turn the heating on and check. So yeah, that was a real annoying one and takes me back to a video I had a couple of months ago, or a few months ago, where we was discussing about when you go to a job and it all seems to be working fine when you're there and charging customers, because understandably they're not happy about it. But what can you do? You've still come out, you've still spent your time, you've done what you can as best. And often we'll try and repair things based on previous history of what we've had in our careers. And yeah, I don't know, let's see what comes. But it just seems to be a week of issues like that, where they're kind of very intermittent or not transpiring when you're on the visit. But service costs. So I am £95 for a standard interim service, which, you know, your basic stuff, clean your condense, charge your expansion vessel, all that kind of stuff. And 150 plus materials for strip service. That price varies slightly depending on area. There's some places that I have to travel to that are further, obviously more fuel, more time, and customers are happy to pay it because I've built up a rapport with them over the past and they understand that I am further away, so it is going to cost more and they're happy to pay for it. One, what are you charging? Two, I had someone this week try and push that price down, sent me back a link to another company and said they're charging this. It was not comparable at all. what they provide on the service, but we're not going to get into that. Like, mudslinging is not the way forward for anyone. But yeah, my advice for anyone out there servicing and whatnot, a couple of bits of advice. One, if you work for a company and you're doing like private jobs on the side, evenings, weekends and whatnot, don't undercut. Just don't undercut, because a couple of reasons. One, like, you can earn more money. Two, you're only dragging down the industry. Three, if you ever go self-employed, those customers that you've been charging that like rock bottom price for, they will not keep you around when you then have to up your price to reflect running a business. So don't undercut. Do yourself a favor, make some more money, and then, you know, it's extra money for you. The other thing is, just don't compete on price. Like, compete on service if you're going to compete on anything, and the value that you bring to your customer. Most people should be working out, like, their numbers shouldn't be just plucked out the sky of, oh, I'm going to charge X amount. And I know there's always this thing of, often when you go self-employed for the first time, people will just kind of look at what the company they worked for charged and go like a 5 or a 10 underneath that. You should really obviously be working out exactly what you need to cover your business overheads, make a profit, that dirty word for trades, and pay yourself. And the profit and paying yourself should be two separate things, because you need a buffer. Remember, you're no longer getting things like annual leave, sickness, vehicle costs covered and whatnot. And also, just your business should be making profit to cover things. So yeah, that is very different to labor and your wages, which a lot of people don't realize. And that's not being patronizing from trade side, from everything. So yeah, don't compete on price. If you are doing this stuff on the side, just up your price so it's around, you know, market value. Make it fair, because it will only come back and bite you at some point. Yeah. Next job. We're back at everyone's favourite job where everything went bang. There's no heating. So here we are. Remember this whole scenario. Let's pop the heating on. Just go and double check that the thermostat's turned up. Actually, I could just put that on. So thermostat's up, and that has motored over this time. And it's actually worked. Last time the Synchron wasn't, basically the Synchron wasn't pushing the micro switch. Let's run it and see. I think I'm going to change that Synchron anyway, because it was being a bit of a pain. Just, you know, when you can see it's like struggling, but before it was stopping about there. But the spindle was free. So I'm going to replace the Synchron in this. Power's off. Safe isolation's been done. Rest assured. But yeah, see, it's just not motoring over as quick as I would like. So I'll swap that out. For anyone who doesn't know, it's just these two wires. And you get a new one there. And then one screw, teeny tiny little screw. Try your best not to lose, especially not in a dark cupboard. come with? It comes with replacements. That's in there. Doesn't matter which one goes into which. It's moving a bit freer now. Just noticed this, I don't know if you can hear it. So the gas valve just isn't staying open or holding open. Maybe that's the issue. So I unplugged everything, plugged it back in. The camera angle might be weird because I've been trying to put the speaker to the gas valve so you can hear it. It's not actually firing. Right, fired up straight away that time. But I will advise him that the gas valve is being a bit funny. Let's reset it, see what it does again. I've never had one of them gas valves go on that boiler before. I have had them go on Ecotech Pluses, not the ones where it's got like that mass flow sensor on top of it. But yeah, real frustrating that. Synchron seems to be fine. Giving them a quote for a new gas valve because that keeps intermittently just like grinding and going off, and we shall see what happens. Next one, nice easy one. We've all done thousands of these before. But yeah, good little earner on the most part. If you've got decent access, go check it out. So next one should be relatively easy. We are in a loft. And because it's dripping out the overflow. So I'm going to check whether it's the expansion tank or the cold tank and replace the ball valve if that's what it needs. So here we are. It's definitely not the cold. There's well away. Is it heating? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Let's get that swapped out. So I'll try and film as much as this as possible, but it's a tight space. Very dusty. Now I'm going to need 2 hands. So that's disconnected on that side. Just pop our new one through and you put the retaining nut on that end and then do it up. There we are. I've emptied some of the tank level out as well, just by pouring it down the overflow. That's below now. Just turn the water back on. Job done. So there we have it. That is all done. Nice easy one. As I say, it was good to have one of them this week. What else have we got coming up? A few bits and pieces, actually. A few like funny rads to, well, not funny rads, awkward radiators to do. Lots of like floorboards up, and had an install accepted today, which should be an interesting one, because boiler install, change all the rads, a little bit of pipe work and whatnot. I'd love a press gun for that one. Would be nice to get a press gun, rigid or Nova press, if you're watching. Yeah, I really like the rigid 115. It's tiny. It's like 320mm, 32 centimeters with the jaws connected. And yeah, the Nova press I've used. I've got videos. Maybe I'll link the video somewhere. I don't know how to do that, but yeah, on using the Nova press was a good one. So yeah, hopefully there'll be like a little deal installer show coming up of one of them press guns, because I would like one. I don't do a massive amount of pipe work, but now that all this gas testing stuff is coming into effect, there'll probably be a lot more gas runs coming up, so it may be worth the investment. Have you got a press gun? What one do you have? Let me know. What you're charging for services, let me know. What's your thoughts on people trying to come back and say, oh, but so-and-so charges X amount? Let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, wherever they all are. Hype. And yeah, please do subscribe. Keep going.